Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Queen128, and today we're gonna be reviewing another action figure again. Today we're gonna be reviewing the Iron Man Mark 85 from Avengers Endgame. Now, this figure has been kindly provided by my uncle, so he's actually sent me the review for me to be reviewed. So here it is. This is also based. This is the bootleg version of the SHFiguarts Avengers Endgame Iron Man Mark 85. There's no Bandit Nation 5 logo or anything like that. Just like my previous review of the SHFiguarts Marvel Spider-Man PS4, which is the same. This is the bootleg version. It is actually much cheaper than the Spider-Man figure. But yeah, before we actually unbox this guy, let's take a look at the side of the box. So you have an Avengers logo, Iron Man Mark 85. On the same one, you have only Mark 85. And the top, you have this Iron Man Mark 85. And let's take a look at the back of the box. You'll see some couple of poses over here. All of these poses I didn't know about. Like, I don't ever know if this is actually accurate to the movie or not, but okay. And so it's like Time Machinations, Japanese some stuff over here, and simple style and heroic action. Okay. Alright, so we have some Japanese stuff over here. If you do understand it, let me know down in the comments. And we have also underneath the box over here, and some random numbers instead of the Bandai and logo. Alright, let's try to open this box up from the figure. So let's see what we got inside the box itself. And here we go. So of course, like the same as before, we have ourselves a little silver diorama. Yeah, a little silver diorama. Let me look at that focus real quickly. Okay, there we go. Silver diorama that it's the same one, which is just a silver, kind of like aluminum foil, something like that. But I'm gonna keep that aside to there, and I'm gonna keep the box also on the side. But let's go take a look at the box itself. So I'm gonna just unbox it real quickly and take the figure out of its stuff. Oh, there we go. Got it out of the box. And some plastic to open it, and let's take the figure out of the box. And here we go, we got the figure out of the box. So I'll play around with the figure for a second, and I will tell you about my final thoughts. Let's go. And there we go, we have it, the Iron Man itself from out of the box. And first impression, the joints are it's just loose, man. It's just super loose. Like, if we just do a wiggle test over here, like there we go, just a little bit wiggle test, you can see how much wiggle is that. Even the chest part is also really loose. Unlike the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 that I reviewed previously, those joints are just tight, and still is tight till this day. I pose it like every once in a week, and it's still tight to this day. But this guy, man, I just take it out of the box. It's just rough. But to be fair, my uncle bought it like early last year or so, and it has been posed like a lot, like tons of times. So I could cover some slack probably because of that joint. And oh yeah, there we go. So I forgot to mention about the head itself. Yeah, the head, there's so many loose parts in this figure, like some parts that just easy to snap off, just like for example this elbow thing over here. It just snaps off too easily. But to be fair, it goes only in one way. So let me get that focus real quickly. So as you can see, it only goes in one way. Inside of here, as you can see, it only goes in one way, so you'll never actually get lost whenever you plug it in. So yeah, so just keep in mind to you guys, there's a lot of small bits that are just loose, just like this one, but the other one is tight. It doesn't come off too easily, but this one comes off too easily because I don't know about that one. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, all right, let's talk about the details first, and then we're going to talk about the accessories. First of all, the detail on this guy is amazing. The eyes are just losing some blue over there. For some people this might bother you, but for me this is just perfectly fine. I mean, I don't usually look at the eyes or anything. If we just want to pose it under the light, this should be help it, but there's no light piping or any sort of that kind of gimmick. Okay, but I really like the chest part of here, the arc reactor itself. It's blue, it's shiny, it's pretty good material. And as the arms itself, just like I said before, like a loose bit or like such part in this one, it's just loose. It just comes right off too easily, And we got the chest part, of course, like I said before, too loose for my taste. God damn. And but the waist one is just tight. The waist one is tight, and of course it's this little feature. If you guys want to make it much more posability, you can extend the chest to be much taller than before. As you can see, if I put it back down, there we go. It's much shorter, and if we put it again, you can see this little ridge over here, and you can see it. But you got this little ridge, uncolored one. That means it's extended. If you didn't see it, that means it's unextended. So just keep in mind if you want to extend it to make it some more range of posability, just like that. And we're gonna talk about posability, of course, in just a second, but we're just gonna talk about the details. And another loose part is also on the knee, like this part. This part also comes up too easily, like this one. This part also comes up too easily, but like that, just like in the elbow, like just like in the knee, like the elbow one. This also comes up. This also comes up easily and puts on really easily. So, and of course, this also applies to the other one, which doesn't come off too easily also as well, which is kind of annoys me because because this figure so far is looking pretty good. And the back in the feet itself, I don't know if the bootleg one has a pivot, but when I try to move it, there's no, like, it's kind of stuck. It doesn't want to go pivot. But looking at the art in the box itself, this does have an ankle pivot. But of course, this is a bootleg figure. I meant to think about it. But if the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 bootleg edition can have an ankle pivot, this guy should also have an ankle pivot, which kind of disappointed me. And speaking about the feet itself is cold when I touch it the first time. So I think this is also real metal. I don't know. I don't have no way to confirm it, but I guess a die-cast metal because it's really cold. If I touch it, it's really cold. So I think this is die-cast metal. This is real metal, I think. So that's why I keep standing it. Makes it standing it so much easier than the makes standing this guy much easier than the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4. But then again, with the loose joints and everything like that, it doesn't feel right, man. It's just loose parts and everything like that. And before I go delving in too far, I have to fully admit my bias. I didn't really like this design for Iron Man. I prefer the older generation of this suit, such as Mark 4, Mark 6, Mark 5, Mark 42. Those are one of my favorite suits in the entire MCU. Those are one of my favorites. And I'm hopefully just one day, I'm gonna be reviewing the ZD Toys 142. So stay tuned for that. If I did eventually make a review of it, if I bought it, actually, that's the correct one. Yeah. So that's the only problem that I have, the loose joints and everything like that. So many loose pits like this, small pits like this, just loose. But yeah, I think that's perfectly acceptable for a bootleg figure, I think. But considering at the price that I got, that my uncle bought it, man, this doesn't feel right. This is just kind of a rip-off for me. Just like in the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 figure, you can actually remove this back panel over here, like so. And of course, you can plug in a stand over here, or a Bandit Imagination X5 stand, everything like that. You can just plug this guy in here, and actually, this guy pops up really easily than the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 figure. If you guys didn't know, go ahead and watch that review to see how painful it is. But yeah, you can plug in a stand here, and yeah, you can actually just pose the guy for an aerial pose or something like that, and that's pretty cool actually. All right, let's finally talk about some accessories that the guy has. First of all, we got this feet thruster right over here. This is the feet effect part that you get when Iron Man is flying. You get two of them, of course. First of all, it has some really nice paint job that applied to it. As you can see, it has some from the white into the blue itself. That's really good for the clear blue. The same ones to go on the other side, from white into blue, just like Iron Man. But I prefer with the orange one, just like the ZD Toys one. But okay, it's okay. Next up, we have the hand part, which is the same as the feet part, but this time there's no ridges over here connected to the feet. Instead, we have this one, which is kind of a hole, which I will talk about the hands in just a bit. But here we go. I think that should be pretty good, but this one has from white to blue. This one has from white to kind of a yellowish color, which I think that's a painting mistake. I think it should be fine. And we have a shooting effect over here, which from white into kind of a pink into clear, which I think really good. I think the pink one so kind of like an illusion so that it actually fires the repulsor, I think. But either way, it's pretty cool. And we plug in the feet effect, which is, of course, the feet has holes in there, so we can just actually plug it in really easily. In fact, super easily. And there we go. It makes it look like that he is flying, of course, as well. And of course, unfortunately, this figure doesn't come with a stand. But I will show you what it looks like with the stand in just a bit. Next up, we got a pair of a relaxed hand right here. This is also a relaxed hand. This is just basically just a position, so Iron Man is about to shoot. But just looking at the detail over here is pretty good. I mean the silver right here. I don't know if it's accurate to the movie or not, but I think that's pretty cool. Like nonetheless, and of course a peg just like in the SHFiguarts figure. Of course, and the detailing is here is pretty cool, and I really like it. Next up, we have these saluting hands. I don't know which part of this is accurate to the movie, but if you guys do know about it and like which one of the part represented is part in the Endgame, let me know down in the comments. But here we go. There's the same painting, the silver ones and everything like that. Same old ridges and everything like that. Same with details, but instead it's a saluting hand. And we have also another a pair of open hands, the same as this one. So as you can see, it has. So actually, we get 4 of these figures, which I will talk about the other 2 in just a bit. We're gonna talk about this one. This one doesn't have any holes to it, so it's just like so you can actually combo this with the other one. So I will show you guys right now, which is the same one over here. There we go. This has a peg on it to plug in the blast effect that I showed you earlier, which is this one. So you can plug this thing in. So you can plug this thing in. You can see it has like shooting effects, and you can combo it as well with the other hand over here. So it makes it like that one hand is shooting it, and the other hand is basically not shooting it. Just basically replicating that scene in Iron Man 2 when Mark 5 does this legendary pose. And of course, this also works with the flying part right over here. Just plugs in the same. Of course, so this is actually basically in the flying mode, and the difference between this one and between the other hands is that both of these are shaped in a kind of a curve right over here, because of course you're going to be using it to fly it, right? Because you get some flying poses or anything like that. So they designed it to have a curve less like this one, unlike the other hand where it's just like poking out of the bottom, just right here, flat point in the bottom. No, this actually have an angle, sort of an angle to it. So that's actually all of the accessories, believe it or not. Yeah, it's all of the accessories. So I will show you guys what it looks like to have it on the hand. And this is what it looks like with all of the effect parts on it. And I think that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool pose actually, and I think it's really cool. Iron Man. You can also like just with a lot of posability in this guy, just like in the box itself. You can pose it with tons of different poses with this guy. But this is just like a quick pose that I'm going to use for this one, just to show how it just looks cool. I think with all these parts, it's just really cool. I think it's just solidifies as Iron Man as well. As you can see, the poses are really good, and with the complementary head also as well. Unfortunately, that's the only accessories that it comes with. There's no like the rocket one that Thor shoots from the back of Iron Man, like in the movie with Dude. There's no accessories or something like that. That's the only accessories that it comes with. But regardless, this is actually a pretty cool figure. So let's just talk about the posability itself. So we're gonna start with the head. There's a ball joint in the head, and also you can look up that far and look down that far. And the head is also really loose, and it comes off really easily. You have a ball joint on the shoulder over here, and of course some backwards and forwards movement. Very limited, but it should be probably fine if you can actually somehow extend that really quickly. Yeah, there we go. You have a bicep swivel over here, a double bend at the elbow, and we have a ball joint on the hand. You can mix it to move side to side if you move it. And we have a ball joint on the chest over here, which like I said in the beginning of the video, very loose. Scratch that. This doesn't actually scratch that. What I said earlier, this actually pretty feels right. The one that makes it really loose is actually the waist swivel. Like back to the waist, a very limited waist swivel. It's almost like none, but it's just like a loose part over here. Like it's just like a loose part, man. Doesn't really do anything to me. But regardless, the chest itself is pretty tight. We can actually make it to move side to side right here. And we have a shifting hips over here. Of course, we have another swivel over here, a double bend at the knee, of course, as well. And you can look up, and you can move up that far and move back that far. And of course, we got this. Of course, this thing unfortunately doesn't have that butt kind of thing like the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 do. It doesn't have that one. It's just solid black, which I think, in my opinion, is much better design. And oh my god! And it has some decent spread. And there's a ball joint on the feet. It makes just a really small toe bend over there, and you can move up that far and down that far. I don't know if there's ankle. Just like I said previously, I don't know if there's any ankle pivot, but I tried to do it. There's like no movement whatsoever, but I can guarantee this is actually real metal. And of course, we're gonna do some little size comparison today. So the size comparison between this and the previous figure that I reviewed, the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 Bootleg Edition. So the Iron Man one is much taller in terms of like the size of it and like the height. The size itself is actually much taller, and as you can see, if I just lower it up a bit, there we go. This one is actually much taller than the Spider-Man one. So yeah, I think that's actually a pretty size comparison. So I think it's like about 1 to 2 centimeters taller than the Spider-Man PS4 figure. So let's go to the final question: is should you buy this figure? Also, like in the previous video, it depends. First of all, if you can find it a figure like this, with a much tighter joint, much better joints and everything like that, with the same price or lower the price, then go get it. I highly recommend it. It is a good figure. It's a good bootleg figure, to be exact. But if somehow you find it like the same bootleg figure with the tighter joint, but it's much pricier, I don't know about that. It's up to you. It's up to your budget. But in my opinion, just like I said before, if you find it priced lower than this one has and has a tighter joint, go ahead and buy it. I suggest you guys buy it, just like the SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 figure. This is a worth buying figure, and I think this is a great figure if the joints work corresponding with me, of course, as well. And yeah, with only the limited accessories, not that much accessories, I think it justifies the price. It's like much cheaper than the Spider-Man PS4 figure, like SHFiguarts Spider-Man PS4 figure. So I think this is much better valued for me, in my opinion. Of course, just like in the previous, if you're the type of person who doesn't care if this is a bootleg or authentic or not, then yes, it is, and highly recommend this figure to you guys if you want to start collecting it or something. And if you guys are really into authentic, then this figure is not for you, unfortunately. But still, this is a good figure if you can actually like the joints, if you can figure out the joints and everything like that. And of course, I will post about an update like 2 or 3 weeks after this video is posted. So make sure you guys keep an eye on the comments if I, of course, updated on the figure, like the joints, whether it's getting loose or not, and everything like that. I will update to you guys. So I think that's about it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys want to see some more reviews like this. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.